Hi, I'm Mark Vena, CEO and Principal Analyst at SmartTech Research, and welcome to this new SmartTechCheck EduSeries episode. I'm excited to do a deep dive on the numerous strategies, partnerships, and announcements Dell made recently at Dell Technologies World in Las Vegas. And let's be clear, this was not a random product dump. This was Dell planting a flag around enterprise AI execution. The message was simple. The AI hype cycle is over. The AI deployment grind has begun. Dell wants to be the company that helps enterprises move from experimentation to real outcomes. That means infrastructure, data, security, services, software, cooling, and automation all working together. The big pivot is the AI factory opportunity, especially with NVIDIA. And that makes absolute sense. That's where the revenue is. That's where the profitability is. That's where enterprise budgets are moving. But here's the part I think matters. Dell is not walking away from its PC DNA. In fact, Dell is pulling the PC back into the enterprise AI conversation, especially around desk-side agentic AI and workstation-based development. This episode is about how Dell is trying to own the enterprise AI control plane from the desk to the data center.
Dell's sharpest strategic message at Dell Technologies World was that enterprises do not really have an AI ambition problem. They have an AI execution problem. That framing matters. Sam Grocott, Dell's Senior Vice President of Products, nailed it when he said AI touches all data, all infrastructure, energy, sovereignty, and cost at the same time. That is exactly the kind of complexity that slows enterprise AI down. Dell is positioning itself as the adult in the AI room, not the company promising magic. The company saying, you want production AI? Then you need to deal with the plumbing. That plumbing includes data growth, power density, utilization, security, cloud economics, and on-prem control. The 5,000 plus Dell AI factory customers are the proof point Dell wants everyone to remember. This is not just a lab story anymore. Dell wants Wall Street, customers, and partners to see AI Factory as a scaled commercial engine.
And here is the analyst takeaway. Dell is moving the AI conversation away from models and towards systems. That is where Dell is strongest. Models get the headlines. Infrastructure gets the purchase orders.
The Dell AI Factory with NVIDIA has become the anchor of Dell's AI strategy. John Siegel, Dell's Senior Vice President of Client Solutions, described it as the first and only end-to-end enterprise AI platform that scales from the desktop all the way to larger data center deployments. That is a bold claim, but it captures the strategic center of gravity. Dell is not trying to win AI with a single box, a single server, or a single cloud story. It is trying to package the messy parts of enterprise AI into something customers can actually deploy. The day one announcements landed across four fronts. Desk-side agentic AI for local development, Dell AI Data Platform for data orchestration, PowerRack for rack-scale AI infrastructure, and Dell AI Solutions for validated ecosystem deployments. This is important because AI buyers are increasingly asking a practical question. How do I get from pilot to production without creating a science project?
Dell's answer is full-stack integration. And this is where the PC story quietly comes back in. Dell's AI Factory is not just about GPUs in the data center. It starts at the desk side, where developers, researchers, and regulated teams can build safely before scaling up. That is classic Dell, practical, modular, customer-driven.
Agentic AI was one of the most important themes at Dell Technologies World. And Dell's message was not just, agents are coming, it was, agents need control. That is the right framing. Enterprises are excited about autonomous agents, but they are also worried about cost, security, data exposure, and governance. John Siegel made that point in the briefing, noting that customers want a safer and more cost-effective way to bring agentic AI into the company. Dell desk-side agentic AI is aimed directly at that problem. It runs NVIDIA NemoClaw on Dell high-performance workstations, supports OpenShell as a secure runtime from desk side to data center, and uses AIQ 2.0 as a reference architecture for regulated multi-agent workflows. The economics are the attention grabber. Dell is talking about up to 87% reduced spend versus public cloud APIs, with break-even in as little as 3 months.
That is a strong argument for on-prem AI, especially when cloud token costs become unpredictable. But the bigger story is control. Data stays local, developers get a sandbox, enterprises get a path to production. And Dell gets to remind the market that the workstation still matters in the AI era.
This may be the most important slide in the deck. AI-ready data is the real bottleneck. Varun Chabra, Dell's Senior Vice President of Infrastructure Solutions, said most customers are not short on AI ideas. The hidden bottleneck is getting the data strategy right. That is exactly right. Every enterprise wants AI. Far fewer have clean, governed, accessible, high-quality data that AI systems can actually use. Dell's AI data platform with NVIDIA is designed to unify storage, data engines, orchestration, and validated AI workflows. The goal is to turn scattered enterprise data into governed AI pipelines. The numbers are compelling. Dell is pointing to up to 6 times faster SQL queries, up to 12 times faster vector indexing, and Mazda as a customer proof point, with storage expanding from 4 petabytes to 10 petabytes, while cost per unit dropped 90%.
That Mazda example matters because it turns AI data strategy from an abstract concept into a real business case. Here's the bottom line. AI does not fail because companies lack ambition. It fails because the data is messy, trapped, expensive, or untrusted. Dell knows this, and it is building the infrastructure story around that pain point.
PowerRack is Dell's answer to one of the biggest AI infrastructure realities. You cannot scale AI with do-it-yourself rack assembly forever. At some point, compute, networking, storage, power, cooling, management, and service have to operate as one integrated system. That is what Dell is pushing with PowerRack. The slide highlights factory integrated deployment, rack scale design, a 480 kilowatt rack density target, a 4U PowerCool CDU footprint, deployment in hours, and a unified service model. Sam Grocott put the pressure point clearly. Energy is now a first-order design decision, not an afterthought, and it can quickly become the #1 bottleneck for deploying AI today. That line should stick. For years, data center conversations were about performance first. Now the conversation is performance per watt, cooling capacity, floor space, deployment risk, and serviceability.
Dell is trying to make AI infrastructure feel less like a custom construction project and more like an engineered system. That is a smart strategy. The AI data center opportunity is enormous, but customers do not want chaos. They want predictable deployment, predictable service, and predictable economics. PowerRack is Dell saying, we can industrialize this.
Dell's ecosystem strategy is about solving the last mile problem in enterprise AI. The AI software market is fragmented. Customers are swimming in models, copilots, agents, databases, security tools, orchestration layers, and cloud options. Dell wants to validate that chaos and turn it into deployable outcomes. The ecosystem slide calls out partners including Google, Hugging Face, Palantir, ServiceNow, Reflection, SpaceX AI, and Mistral. It also emphasizes validated deployments, time saved, and manual tasks eliminated. Caitlin Gordon, Dell's Vice President of Private Cloud and AI Solutions, made the strategic point directly when she said the ecosystem is what brings the infrastructure to life. That is the right way to think about it. Infrastructure without software outcomes is just expensive metal. Validated software without infrastructure is just a demo. Dell wants to sit in the middle and make both sides work together.
This also helps Dell defend against hyperscalers. The message is not avoid cloud. The message is run AI where your data, security, latency, and economics make the most sense. That is a powerful enterprise pitch. And again, it reinforces Dell's core brand promise: choice, control, and practical deployment.
Day 2 was Dell's reminder that AI does not replace the modern data center. It forces the modern data center to evolve. The announcements focused on PowerStore Elite, new PowerEdge servers, PowerProtect 1, CyberDetect, and broader cyber resilience. PowerStore Elite is the storage headline, with Dell pointing to 3 times performance and density, a 6-to-1 data reduction guarantee, and up to 5.8 petabytes of effective capacity in 3U. Varun Chabra called PowerStore Elite the biggest leap forward in the platform's history. That is not just product marketing. It signals that Dell sees storage as a strategic layer in the AI era, not a back-office commodity. The PowerEdge story matters too. Dell is talking about 18th generation PowerEdge servers, up to 70% performance gains, and major server consolidation opportunities.
Then there is cyber resilience. Dell CyberDetect extends AI-powered ransomware detection into PowerStore and PowerMax, with byte-level inspection and 99.99% detection accuracy. This is the coexistence story. AI workloads are growing fast, but traditional workloads are not going away. Dell is selling both realities at once.
Private cloud and automation are where Dell starts to turn infrastructure into an operating model. Dell Private Cloud supports VMware Cloud Foundation, Microsoft Azure Local, Nutanix, and Red Hat on open, disaggregated Dell infrastructure. The key claim is up to 65% cost savings versus HCI. That is Dell speaking directly to customers who want cloud-like operations without cloud-only economics. But the bigger play is automation. Dell Automation Platform introduces agentic intelligence and a personalized generative user experience for infrastructure operations. Dell Automation Studio lets customers build AI-driven workflows across compute, storage, networking, infrastructure, and applications. Caitlin Gordon described it as a network of agents designed to make smart recommendations and even take action with human oversight on the infrastructure. That is where this gets interesting.
Dell is not just selling servers and storage. Dell is trying to automate the operating layer around them. For IT teams, that could mean fewer manual tasks, faster deployments, better lifecycle management, and a more consistent control plane. For Dell, it means more software gravity around its infrastructure. That is strategically important. Hardware margins matter, but software-driven control creates stickiness.
Here is my big takeaway from Dell Technologies World. Dell wants to own the enterprise AI control plane. Not just the server, not just the storage array, not just the PC, the control plane. The through line across every announcement is control over data, deployment, economics, security, infrastructure lifecycle, partner choice, and workload placement. Sam Grocott summed it up well with Dell's right place, right model, right tier best practice framing for enterprise customers. And that is the real strategy. Dell is pivoting hard into the AI data factory opportunity because that is where the money is. That is where enterprise customers are investing. That is where Dell can attach infrastructure, services, software, storage, networking, cooling, cyber resilience, and partner solutions. But Dell is not abandoning its foundational PC chops. Quite the opposite. The PC becomes part of the AI factory.
Workstations become agentic AI sandboxes. Desk-side development becomes a bridge to data center production. That is a smart way to defend Dell's heritage while chasing the biggest infrastructure opportunity in years. Thanks for watching this SmartTechCheck EduSeries episode. Please like, repost, and comment on this episode, especially with suggestions for future topics, and subscribe to the SmartTechCheck podcast channel on YouTube for free.